everybody, it's that college football guy here with another video. Yeah, I'm driving the truck. I'm here on I-71, getting on the freeway here, just north of Columbus, Ohio. Heading back to Nashville, Tennessee to deliver the load I just picked up. I went up north to Parma, Ohio, a little bit near Cleveland. I went around there, picked 2 stops, picked up, and now I'm on my way south. I've heard a rumor over the weekend, and it's basically is a Twitter X rumor. And the next thing I know, I see the Monty Show saying that their sources, and this is their reporting, that they said the fact that the Brett Yormark is doing back channels to talk to Duke about joining the Big 12, and they're having back channel communications. I was hearing that if ACC falls south, that Duke may join the Big 12, but for basketball only, is the rumor on Twitter. No. And Duke to the Big 12 right now. No. Because the simple fact of the matter is, Brett, it doesn't matter what you want. It matters what ESPN and Fox want, because they're the ones who be paying the money. And if you want to bring Duke in, you think anybody in the Big 12 is going to take a, let's see, to pay for a full share, because Duke won't come in at a half share. You're talking 32 million divided by 16. You're talking $2 million a school, and everybody's going to take a pay cut to bring Duke in. Everybody's going to take a $2 million a year pay cut, or $1 million, whatever the hell it ends up being, to bring Duke in. Think they're going to do that? No. They want to bring in somebody that's going to raise the money up, not take money away. So, I get it. It's the off season. It's slow. I mean, I'm doing videos for suggestions from you for content because it's slow here. Because it is right now. I can do all the speculation in the world about everything. I'm not going to turn the men's basketball tournament and go on about that. Tennessee's still alive. They got to play Creighton. Illinois and Iowa State's going to be a hell of a game. But that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking college football, because that's what this channel is about. So do I see Duke coming in? Louisville comes in before everybody, even Duke. I'm sorry. Because Louisville has a basketball name, and more importantly, a football brand that is worth something consistently. So we will see how that goes. So I'm not buying it, but there is one thing though that is basketball related. I mentioned it. I think I mentioned it on X and mentioned it. I mentioned a couple of YouTube videos. I'm not quite sure about. It all starts running together. It makes so much content. It starts running together after a while. I start looking at. I made a suggestion to somebody I know who works for media for Washington State, and someone who works for media for Oregon State, who I know real well. And I made a suggestion, and it got down to somebody they know from Gonzaga, which is maybe Gonzaga should join the Mountain West if they don't get a Big 12 invite. Because the part of the reason you're not getting in is because, are you worth the money? You know, when a natty, they'll be like, okay, fine, you're a big fish in a small pond. When it comes time to facing other big fish, you don't do so well. And the thought line I suggested for it was, if you can't handle competing in the Mountain West, how are you going to handle competing in the Big 12? The Big 12 is a far better basketball conference than the Mountain West. That's not debatable. Are they number one? Big 12 number one? I'm not going to get into that damn argument. But Big 12 is better than the Mountain West. That's not in dispute. separation of the Big 12, and like somebody finally on a national media outlet said what I was saying for a long time, that if Brett Yormark adds 2 basketball schools, it's Gonzaga and St. John's, because he wants Big 12 basketball in the Garden. Plus a lot of other connections and everything else. But that's actually possibly growing some traction if the Big 12 doesn't invite them, and Oregon State and Washington State and the Mountain West merge, Pac-12, Mountain West, whatever the hell it ends up being. If that happens, if it's a spotty conference with like 8 members and it's hodgepodge, they'll stay where they're at. They don't want to really go east for like 8 teams, because that would be lesser of a brand, and it wouldn't be worth as much as staying in the Mountain West as a whole with Oregon State and Washington State as travel partners. It would be worth as much. And I'm like, okay, being with Oregon State and Washington State makes sense. You're all up in the same part of the country together. That makes sense. But if Oregon State and Washington State don't take the entire Mountain West and take a couple schools from the AAC, you're not going? Because they felt that all the basketball schools wouldn't go. And I'm like, okay, because you could argue the two, and I have to concede this, the Mountain West is not the best mid-major, that is the Big East. You know, the Big East considers themselves a power conference, but they're not. The best mid-major is the Big East. Mountain West is second. You could debate on that, on who's third. But that's the whole reason for that. They're thinking, well, we're not doing that one. Also, the chatter. That is the other rumor. Somebody brought this up to me, and I brought it up a while back, and I shot it down when I said the American was going to be the first conference to die. And they said, oh, the ACC is going to implode. They get the 8 members, they implode the conference, and then they're going to have no choice to go but the American. And I'm like, okay, first off, you telling me that tells me you did zero research. It was 8 teams when they were a 15-team conference. A majority has to vote. Well, in an 18-team conference, the majority goes from 8 to 10. They don't have 10. So that doesn't work anymore. 10 teams don't have invites. I'm sorry, they don't. Notre Dame's not going anywhere. Notre Dame's not going to vote to dissolve the conference champion. Stanford and Cal, everybody says, oh, ACC dissolves, they're going to go back. No. Stanford and Cal went to the ACC not for money, but for the academics, because there's AAU schools there. And there's AAU schools there. There's none in the Mountain West, and there's none in Oregon State or Washington State. There's no AAU there, so it makes absolutely no sense to stay. They did this for the academics. They don't need the money. Because they can have a minimal amount of money poured in athletics, and they're fine, because if you hadn't noticed, Stanford and Cal's athletics, for the most part, sucks. So them not getting that much money doesn't change anything. They're not going back. The only way they would go back is if somehow the Pac-12 is Oregon, Washington State, San Diego State, Colorado State, Tulane, Rice, South Florida, and Buffalo. All the AAU schools in the G5. Then they might go. And San Diego State and Colorado State, because there's who Stanford and Cal suggested. The only 2 out of the Mountain West they want to team up with. So, folks, what does this mean in closing? Is Duke going to the Big 12 and it's the number 1 target? No, it's a smokescreen. This is just chatter. Not buying it for 1 minute. Gonzaga considering going to the Mountain West / Pac-12, whatever the case, some manufacturer, whatever, if a Big 12 invite falls through. That I have to believe in. That is possible. Because then they'd say, okay, what's the money? What will we get? What would this bring our value up there with this on there compared to being in the West Coast Conference? Would it be worth the money? used to. I get it. But we'll see. But the thing I was getting to here, somebody in the American said, oh, we're going to lose South Florida, Memphis, Rice, and Tulane, and we'll just pick up Appalachian State, Coastal Carolina, James Madison, and Liberty, and we'll be just fine. No, you won't. Conference USA schools, when they came in, they didn't come in at full share. They didn't even come in at half share. As far as I know, they came in like, what, 40%? Someone can correct me. They're like, what, $1.5 million, $2 million? The Sun Belt's making more. They would have to take a pay cut. Liberty could come up. But the Sun Belt schools will be taking a pay cut to join the American. And there's no guarantee the American's going to be there. So, I don't know. Craziness. So, I'm looking at some idiots improving the road and sidetracking me, so I better end this video here so I can concentrate on the morons in front of me. So thanks everybody for watching the video. If you haven't done it already, do me a favor. Please smash the like button, hit the thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm, helps the video be seen by more people. Comment on the video. Duke to the Big 12. Think it's happening right now? No. Gonzaga considering the Mountain West Pac-12 if a Big 12 invite falls through. Yeah, that one I buy. The American trying to poach every school from the Sun Belt and the best team from the Sun Belt and Conference USA to rebuild their conference. I think ESPN might quietly behind the scenes put the kibosh on that. Just calling it a hunch. But let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Okay? And share the video if you want to. And someone decides to cut me off. And if you haven't done it already, check out some of the other videos I've done. If you like them, subscribe to the channel. On our way to 600 subscribers, slowly but surely on that crawl up to 1,000. We're getting there, slowly but surely. We're getting there. So, again, thanks everybody for watching. Hope everybody is having a good Monday. It was not a good Monday, but a good weekend in the house. I'm not going to get, I'm still pissed off about it, so I'm not going to go into it. But, yeah, we had probably most likely had a better weekend than mine. So thanks everybody for watching. Be safe out there, and please be good to each other.